My name is Praveen Suman and I'm going to give a video lecture on UAE. Emirates is a federation of 7 states formed in 1971 by the crucial state after independence from Britain. Since then, it has grown from a quiet backwater in one of the Middle East's most important economic centers. In Emirates of UAE, Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE. Shown in figure are the Emirati people. They are ancestors from Iran, Balochistan, Arabian Peninsula, and from East Africa. Some of Emirati in Dubai are of Persian ancestry. Emirati culture is based on Arabian culture and has been heavily influenced by the Persian culture. In dress code, men wear kandora and ankle-length white shirt worn from wool or cotton, when women are wear an abaya, a black overgarment covering most part of the body. The UAE cuisine is the reflection of a great Arabian heritage and a vast exposure to civilization over the time. Muslims are prohibited from eating pork, so it is not included in Arab cuisine as well as UAE cuisine. Dance and music, as shown in picture, music and dance is tradition of UAE are based on Khaliji style of music. Typically, the tradition music and dance of UAE tell us the story of brave battle and it's performed by the men. The dance is known as Ayala dance. Business in UAE. In order to conduct business in UAE, a foreign investor required to establish a formal legal presence within UAE through any of the following means. Number first, incorporating a local entity in many other jurisdictions throughout the world. It is not possible to buy their self companies in UAE as a generally requirement. Locally incorporated entity must obtain the following license: a trade license from a Department of Economic Development of Emirates where office will be located, and if applicable, authorization from relevant Ministry of Government entity with jurisdiction over the type of business activity to be conducted. Second, registering a branch or representative office of a foreign company. Article 313 to 316 of Companies Law permit foreign companies to open branch or representative offices within UAE. A branch or representative office is a foreign company may be wholly owned by foreigners. Third, establishing a free zone entity. There is no minimum capital requirement for branch or representative office, while in most free zone established maintain a free zone company are typically required to have a minimum capital of around AED 500,000, but the precise requirement vary from free zone to free zone. A free zone establishment may be owned by a single individual or company, where is a free company typically require two or more owners. And last, and entering into a commercial agency relationship. If a foreigner wishes to carry out business in UAE but does not wish to maintain physical presence in UAE, it may enter into a commercial agency relationship with the wholly local owned entity or UAE nation. National political system of UAE. Politics take place in a framework of federal, presidential and absolute monarchy. Ruler of Abu Dhabi is the president of UAE, the head the head of the state. Ruler of Dubai is the Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates and the head of the government. The Supreme Council consists of the individual is of 7 Emiratis as shown in figure. The President and Vice President elected by the Supreme Council every 5 years. Decisions are made by majority votes unless relating to substantive issue which is require a two-third majority vote, that is 5 out of 7 rulers, which must include Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The currency of UAE is dirham. UAE also the member of World Trade Organization and OPEC. The economy of United Arab Emirates is the second largest in Arab world after Saudi Arabia with gross domestic product of 570 billion is equal to AED 2.1 billion in 2014. Economy is extremely reliant on oil except Dubai. The UAE GDP contribution, which is included that energy gives 38%, real estate gives 22%, retail gives 12%, tourism gives 9%, 8% is from logistics and 11% from other sectors. In UAE, as shown in figure, is the Central Bank of United Arab Emirates, which is the state institution responsible for managing the currency, monetary policy, and banking regulation in the United Arab Emirates. Power of Central Bank of United Arab Emirates. They are to issue and the manage of currency, to ensure stability of currency, to manage UAE credit policy, to develop and oversee the banking system in UAE, to act as a government banker, and to provide monetary and financial support of the government. The power also include managing UAE gold and currency reserve, to act as the lender of last resort to banks operating in UAE and represent UAE in international institutions such as International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and Arab Monetary Fund. The power also include managing UAE gold and currency reserve, to act as the lender of last resort to banks operating in UAE and represent UAE in international institutions such as International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and Arab Monetary Fund. Let's now see the trade volume classified by the region in 2015. As shown in figure, it is seen that it is 22% from Europe, 19% from Middle East and North Africa, 9% from America and Caribbean, 2.8% from West and Central Africa, 2.9% from East and South Africa, and the majorly 44% from Asian, Australian Pacific, Iceland. Style in UAE. A leader leads team as head of the family with the same duties, responsibility and authorities. He or she recognizes obligation to colleagues and duty to support, guide and urge team members. He demonstrates strong loyalty to their boss and expects strong loyalty from their team. Learn from our father is motto of their leadership, which means respect for experience, age and knowledge. Every employee is made to feel part of family with obligation and benefit. It seeks to be a strong role model for the people by gaining knowledge and guidance from the leader and sharing it freely. There are informal, constant communication both upwards and downwards. It seeks to get a personal issue of their people, help them to possible. It is also include consulting extensively to understand thought and feelings of colleagues and create a sense of involvement. There is balance of duties to work family with duties to non-work family and other communities. It has an open door policy where people of various level can gain access to head act and dance. It supports head in public but also says that what you really think in private without implied loyalty. It's your decision. Management of UAE. UAE federal law sets out preference for hiring UAE nationals and for some administrative positions require that only UAE national can be employed. For example, public relation officer. They also have a Emiratization policy. It is an initiating by the government of United Arab Emirates to employ its citizens in a meaningful and efficient manner in the public private sector. As shown in figure is the Emiratization framework. It has five parallel circles that is connected by full lines of the central circle. These full lines disclose all external body would have two-way communication with the human resource development department. For example, the Ministry of Labour responsible for disseminating information regarding legislation and government policy to the organization, but also should receive feedback from the Human Resource Department for Emiratization on appropriateness, challenges and problems to assist the ministry in future decision making. The ministry communication should include update on target requirement change to policy and penalty information for the non-compliance or inadequacy of performance. Management principle in UAE, it includes that all employees must agree to the change that is going to be adopted in an organization. Also, they must be actively participated in their change and they must understand the change in a proper manner so they could achieve the future accomplishment. It is also includes SMART principle. SMART principle is nothing but the change should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and on time. Legal system of India versus UAE. Number first, criminal law. India has a common law legal system whose infrastructure bears the influence of British colonial rule. The constitution is based on Government of India Act 1935 passed by British Parliament, while judicial system in United Arab Emirates is derived from civil law system and Sharia law. The court system consists of civil courts and Sharia court. Second, industrial and labor law. In order to employ a expatriate employee in UAE, an applicant must be made to ministry. The application has to be approved by ministry prior to the employer entering in UAE. It should be noted that new business are required to register or open for with the ministry, while Indian labor law make distinction between people who work in organized sector and people working in unorganized sector. The law lists the different industrial sector to which various labor law apply. Third, the family law. Emirati women must receive permission from a male guardian to marry and demarry. Requirement is derived from Sharia and has been federal law since 2005, while family laws in India have been founded on the basis of personal law of religion, thus Bora, which formed in India society. Law-making and adjunction of private law was seen as a crucial part of rule of law in India since colonial time. And the last is tax law. United Arab Emirates is federation of seven emirates with autonomous emirates and local governments. UAE does not have a enforced federal income tax legislation for general business and income tax degree has been enacted by each emirati, but in practice the information of these degrees is restricted to foreign banks and to oil companies, while taxes in India are levied by the central and state government by minor taxes are teachers are also levied by the local authority such as municipality. Matter of UAE. UAE's ethical climate is positive, reinforcing its reputation as a good place to do business. It has generalized substantial use of labor for expatriate professionals. The highly westernized environment makes them feel at home and encourages them to carry out their business including the decision-making process. However, UAE organizations do not offer extensive institutional support guide the ethical conduct of member. While there is a even chance that company may have a written code of ethics, few offer formal training program. Most responses indicate the absence of institutional support resources such as advisory center or telephone hotlines. Last but not least is UAE and world economy. The trade-oriented nature of UAE has become one of the most profitable trade ports in the world, and also investment policy which includes activity investing in a large corporation industry, and these things led globalization of UAE business. The fact that major social changes of population distribution has been affected UAE greatly become 80% of whole population consists of foreigners and comprise major part of the workforce. The fact that business in UAE was highly sensitive to international changes in economic policy, this type of changes and global scale is suddenly fast immediate. The discovery of oil in UAE which little major turning point in global economic environment. UAE and the overall economic scenario was changed drastically because the global economy changes ruthlessly changes the economic outlook of business in UAE. The major business that were able to open up in UAE were the automobiles, natural resources, airline industry and furniture production. This kind of industry started to command a major chunk of economy UAE.